to give my departed best friend a dignified resting place. I maxed out over 30 credit cards in one go, just to barely afford a $600 earn. Suddenly, my friend's voice came out of thin air. Life's been so rough for you. I should have taken you with me. It's pretty boring over here. Lin Wan looked in horror at the jade bracelet in her hand. It was her friend's only keepsake, and also the source of the voice. After 2 hours of terrifying conversation, Lin Wan finally understood the situation. It turned out her friend Xia Ran wasn't dead. Her soul had traveled to the ancient Feng'an dynasty. Sadly, she became a neglected consort in the cold palace, now locked in a room, with no food or water, just waiting to die. Even worse, the kingdom was unstable. The threat of its fall was growing. Fortunately, the bracelet could not only communicate, but also transport items. So, Lin Wan sent over all the food she had left at home to her, plus a blanket. At least it could help Xia Ran live a little more comfortably over there. It's just that her own life wasn't going well either. There really was nothing extra at home. Years ago, Lin Wan was discovered to be the Gu family's mistakenly swapped fake heiress. Her adoptive parents threw her out like trash right then, but her biological parents thought, since she'd been the Gu family's heiress for so many years, she must be rolling in money and had stashed away a lot of savings. They schemed every day to get it from her, yet they used her birth chart, clashing with their precious sons, as an excuse to not even let her return to the family. Family love, romantic love, shattered in Lin Wan's heart. Only Xia Ran stayed by her side, just as she was worrying. Xia Ran's voice came from the bracelet again. Lin Wan, if you can send me things, doesn't that mean I can send you things too? If that's possible, then everything from this dynasty would be priceless antiques. This idea instantly excited Lin Wan too. With money, she could buy a lot of things Xia Ran could use. Maybe she really could help her escape. But after a while, Xia Ran sounded a bit disappointed. This is the cold palace. I don't even have a gold hairpin on my head. I've searched the whole room, and only found 2 things. She hesitated. Lin Wan urged her, quick, try to send them over. Lin Wan opened her hands, waiting excitedly. A piece of evidence, from a dynasty lost to history, vivid and real, was about to appear in her hands. The cold palace is still part of the palace. Anything from here must be. Suddenly, a black pot appeared, shattering her thoughts. A foul, pungent smell hit her nose. A chamber pot. Lin Wan wanted to throw it but didn't dare. She just held her breath and carefully set it aside. The other one isn't a chamber pot too, is it? What about this bowl? As Xia Ran explained, Lin Wan now held a dark brown porcelain bowl. The rim had a chip the size of a fingernail, but it felt smooth and fine to the touch. The painted design on it was clearly not a modern reproduction. Too bad it's damaged. He then turned his gaze to that pitch-black chamber pot. He pinched his nose in disgust. This thing has definitely been through countless owners. Should I clean it before trying to sell it? But with his basic knowledge of antiques, Lin Wan decided to just give it a quick rinse. He put it in a black trash bag and headed to the antique street. It was his first time selling an antique. He didn't know the market, nor which shops were reliable. After wandering for over half an hour, he finally picked a rather inconspicuous one. He wanted to go in and ask the owner first. As soon as he started to speak, the woman at the reception covered her nose. Did you fall in a cesspool? It reeks. Lin Wan's face flushed bright red instantly. Clutching his clothes, he stepped past her and looked inside at the middle-aged man examining an item. Hello. I have 2 items here. Are you interested? The man looked up. Are you still a student? So, young and already dabbling in antiques? Lin Wan didn't want to explain. He thought for a moment, pulled the broken bowl from his pocket, and handed it over. Could you see if this is worth anything? The reception woman snorted and laughed. People will try to sell anything these days. And it's damaged too. You think this is a junk shop? The middle-aged man suddenly glared at her. Chenli, enough with the nonsense. Go organize the items in the back warehouse. A client is coming to inspect them tomorrow. The introverted Lin Wan nervously extended his hand. This piece really is quite old. Please take a look. The middle-aged man didn't take it seriously. He simply shooed him out. Lin Wan left helplessly. He tried several more shops in a row, only to be turned away from each one. He was feeling rather discouraged. Only one shop remained. As he entered, the owner was talking to a young man. The young man had his back to Lin Wan, so his face wasn't visible. He could only tell he was very tall, wearing a well-tailored suit. Lin Wan immediately noticed that just the unique cufflink on his sleeve was probably worth more than a decade of his own salary. Hearing the commotion, the young man didn't turn around. He went straight inside. Lin Wan pursed his lips. He was still a bit embarrassed. Excuse me, sir, I have something here. Would you take a look? With that, Lin Wan walked to the counter. He held out the broken bowl toward the owner. The owner was an old man with graying hair. Unlike the previous shops, he didn't look down on him. Instead, he nodded and took it with a smile. Sure, let me see. Though from his expression, Lin Wan could tell he was just being polite. Just as he thought the man was about to hand the bowl back to him, unexpectedly, the owner's gaze fixed on the bowl and froze. I spent 500,000 on an unfinished building and planned to renovate it into a rental property to rent out to college students. But then, I found a discarded wooden crate in a corner. When I opened it, it was full of priceless, valuable antiques. The next day, I took them to the antique street for appraisal. The shop owner examined them carefully for several minutes. Then he suddenly sighed and said, "These are definitely from the Fenghan dynasty. Look at the texture of this glaze, and the shape of this bowl." Lin Wan was overjoyed. You know about the Fenghan dynasty? If this guy is knowledgeable, then anything else Xia Ran brings out in the future can be sold here. Of course, the old man immediately replied. Then he glanced towards the room behind him, as if he wanted to go in. But then he seemed to think of something. What a shame, it's damaged. Otherwise, it could have fetched a good price. The owner wasn't telling the truth. He was putting on an act to lowball me, to drive the price down. Although Lin Wan didn't understand these tricks, he knew the man wasn't being honest. He wasn't in a hurry to name a price. Instead, he opened his backpack, and pulled out a chamber pot, wrapped in a trash bag. That foul, pungent smell instantly filled the entire shop. The old man staggered back, choking. Lin Wan knew the smell was strong. He quickly explained, "This chamber pot is from the same period as that bowl. I didn't know better before, so I used it as a chamber pot, even though this one is intact." Chamber pots are the hardest to sell in the antique business, especially one that smells this bad. What wealthy family would buy a used chamber pot as a decorative antique? Lin Wan was afraid he'd lowball too much, but the owner paused after looking at it, and offered a price for both items right away. 20,000. He was instantly thrilled. 20,000. That was way beyond his expectations. It seems this shop isn't too shady, but he wasn't a fool either. He immediately put on a reluctant to sell face. "You know what era this is from. I know you're trying to fool me. If you're not serious, then I was in an abandoned building, and found a discarded crate. It was filled with expensive antiques. That same day, I took them to the antique street for appraisal, but the shopkeeper tried to lowball me, so I packed the antiques back into my bag." Sure enough, seeing this, he immediately raised his offer by 25,000. Lin Wan kept pretending to pack up. Finally, the shopkeeper couldn't hold back. He grabbed the chamber pot. 30,000. 30,000 max. If that's not good, go look elsewhere. Deal. Only then did Lin Wan relent. From the shopkeeper's expression, she knew 30,000 was actually about right, but she could probably haggle for more. But she didn't have that much time. Afraid he'd change his mind, she slapped her small hand on the table. "I want cash." The shopkeeper squinted at him. "Do your parents know you're selling this for money?" "I don't want any trouble." "Of course they know. I can sign a contract." Lin Wan's eyes were clear. She signed the paper briskly, and smoothly got the money. Before leaving, she also asked for the shopkeeper's WeChat and phone number. The shopkeeper advised, "If you go somewhere else, you won't get such a fair price. Young lady, if you have more items from this era, be sure to come to my shop first." Lin Wan agreed. As she was leaving, she saw the shopkeeper holding the items, and walking into the back room, but she didn't pay it much mind. Her mind was only on the $30,000 in hand. Little did she know, the young man looked at the antique before him, and scrutinized the surveillance footage carefully. His eyes flickered. He instructed the shopkeeper, "If she comes to sell things in the future, give her the highest price directly." Over here, Lin Wan had already headed straight for the nearby department store, bought a whole bunch of stuff for her best friend, and only then returned to her rented apartment, feeling completely satisfied. She connected to the jade bracelet, transferred everything over in one go, and listening to Xia Ran's delighted voice coming from the bracelet, she felt an immense sense of satisfaction. It was quite like the achievement of a domineering CEO, keeping a pampered little wife. "Lin Wan, how much money did you sell it for? Why did you buy so much stuff for me? Are we not gonna live tomorrow?" Lin Wan excitedly spoke up. 30,000. I sold those two things. 30,000. How much? That junk is worth 30,000. Damn it, I've decided to bust out tomorrow, and loot the entire cold palace. Girl, follow me to get rich. Lin Wan was amused by her. You hide your self-defense stuff well. The most crucial thing right now is, you need to escape before the dynasty falls. After that, the two of them agreed to talk every day after Lin Wan got off work. After experiencing such extreme highs and lows, Lin Wan suddenly felt full of drive. He is not the kind of person who forgets his roots once he has money. Early the next morning, he went downstairs to buy vegetarian buns and soy milk, sent them to Xia Ran, and then hurried off to the company. He's still in the probationary period right now, working himself to the bone for just 2,500 a month, but he'll become a regular employee next month, and after that, his salary can reach 4,000. He had just put down his backpack when Wang Ting ran over. "The toilet's clogged. Go unclog it." Wang Ting is just like him, both interns. In the past, back when Lin Wan was still the Gu family's young lady, Wang Ting never missed a chance to suck up to her. "That's not part of my job responsibilities." Lin Wan coldly refused. Wang Ting pours a glass of water, and dumps it right on him. "Are you crazy?" Lin Wan is furious. The rest of the department has trickled in by now. They sit at their desks, watching the show. Wang Ting strutted around proudly, points in his face and yells, "Stop pretending. Thought manager Jiang would protect you. The Jiang family is marrying the eldest daughter of the Gu family, not some imposter like you." Back during his internship, Jiang Chen was still Lin Wan's boyfriend. He arrogantly withdrew all his internship applications, and replaced them. He directly filled out this company's form, saying the internship report would be easier to handle. But after he was kicked out by the Gu family, in less than a week, Jiang Chen was holding Guya's hand. They started going everywhere together. If it weren't for him being transferred to another department in his second month, he probably wouldn't even have a job now. Bullshit love. Unclogging toilets. Huh. Damn it. Lin Wan didn't want to argue with someone like Wang Ting, who kicks people when they're down and sucks up to those on top. If this blows up, Jiang Chen might use it as leverage against him. Find a reason to fire him. He really needs the money right now. He puts on a mask and gloves, fixes the toilet, and then returns to his post. Wang Ting smiles smugly, and posts a notice on his computer. 30 minutes late, $200 fine. The department manager's stamp is at the bottom. Lin Wan clenches his fists in anger. Wang Ting sent him to fix the toilet on purpose, to make him look late. He swallows his pride. A day passes. Exhausted, Lin Wan brings braised pork rice and milk tea back to his rented room. He meant to buy 2 portions, but the fine had to be paid first. He also bought some things Xia Ran needed. Plus, the credit card he maxed out for Xia Ran's funeral is due. He doesn't have much money left. He really needs to tighten his belt. It's really good. Xia Ran's voice comes from the bracelet, dispelling the weariness of his day. If it's good, eat more. Drink the milk tea while it's hot. You definitely can't get sick right now. Xia Ran spoke up. There are bean sprouts under the cured meat rice. Yours too. This owner is a bit shady. Yeah, I asked the owner to add them. Don't you love bean sprouts? Lin Wan stuffed a bite into her mouth. Pickled mustard with rice. She answered, her words a bit muffled. The jade bracelet fell silent for a moment. Then, after a few seconds, the voice returned. Lin Wan, there are no bean sprouts in the cured meat rice. I lied to you. You only bought 1 serving, didn't you? Lin Wan was stunned. She wasn't trying to act pitiful. But now, all the pent-up grievances came pouring out. If it weren't for getting my internship report smoothly, I'd really want to shove that toilet brush in Wang Ting's face. Xia Ran was also furious. Wang Ting is definitely acting on Guya's orders. That woman is afraid Jiang Chen will bother you again. She wants to drive you away. A scumbag who plays with feelings then ditches. She treats him like a treasure. Who wants that crap? After venting to her best friend for a while, Lin Wan felt much better, but Xia Ran's heart ached for her. After they finished eating, Xia Ran immediately went out to see if she could find anything else. If there's anything valuable, you might as well quit this lousy job. Taking advantage of the late hour, Xia Ran got up, using the lock-picking tools Lin Wan had sent her. She quietly picked the lock on the chain outside, and opened the door. The desolate courtyard was overgrown with weeds. The dilapidated palace walls, the red paint peeling everywhere, was filled with a lifeless, stagnant air. Before she could even sigh, a disheveled head suddenly popped up right in front of her, staring with bloodshot eyes. It scared her so much she let out a yelp and jumped back 2 meters. A woman in tattered clothes, laughing maniacally as she lunges at him. Xia Ran instinctively pulls out her small stun baton, and zaps him unconscious on the spot. She just breathes a sigh of relief, when 2 more figures dart out from a corner. Their heads look like dried grass. Lightning! There's lightning! The 2 clap their hands, howling with excitement. Xia Ran dashes over quickly. Zap! Zap! She shocks those 2 unconscious too. Finally, there's a moment of quiet. She tiptoes around, and starts rummaging through the palace, not caring if things are broken or intact. Any small object she can carry gets stuffed into her jade bracelet. Just as she's happily searching, Xia Ran suddenly trips over something. She nearly goes flying. In a panic, she protects her head, thinking she bumped into some great treasure. But when she looks closely, it's a masked figure dressed all in black. The masked person is clearly injured, clutching a bleeding arm. Xia Ran's collision sends them stumbling before they pass out. Silence falls within the jade bracelet. Lin Wan is immediately terrified. Xia Ran, are you okay? Get back to your room and lock the door. I'm fine. Xia Ran's voice is hoarse. Lin Wan, I think I just killed someone by bumping into him. Lin Wan's voice stutters with fear too. Killed? Her higher education almost makes her blurt out the words, call the police. But then she remembers Xia Ran is in the turbulent era of the Fenghan dynasty, where death seems all too common. She lowers her voice to comfort Xia Ran. Don't be afraid. You're in the cold palace. It's chaotic outside. No one will find out. First, go back to your room. Lock the door. Pretend you never went out. Xia Ran snapped back to reality, just as she was about to follow his lead and get out of there. The flashlight suddenly shone on a piece of jade pendant, hanging from the man's waist. Just the craftsmanship alone would fetch a great price back in modern times. After a 2-second internal struggle, Xia Ran muttered, man dies for wealth, birds die for food. You can't take it with you when you're born, and you can't take it when you die. Once I sell it for money, I promise I'll give you a proper burial. She reached out and yanked the jade pendant off. With a sweep of the jade bracelet, it was transmitted. Just as she was about to see if there was anything else, a large, blood-stained hand suddenly grabbed her wrist. It gave a fierce yank. She was so scared her hair stood on end. She let out a scream. Losing her balance, she was pulled forward. Without any warning, her lips met the man's, which were full of the smell of blood. Xia Ran, what's wrong? Say something. Lin Wan's anxious voice came from the jade bracelet, pulling Xia Ran's thoughts back. she swung her palm, and slapped the man hard across the face. The man, who had just woken up, was knocked out cold by her. Panting heavily, she scrambled to break free. In a panic, she picked up the flashlight that had fallen to the ground. Only then did she have time to answer Lin Wan. "I'm fine. The man's not dead, he's just unconscious." Lin Wan had just breathed a sigh of relief, when another wail came from the jade bracelet. "That bastard just kissed me, my first kiss." Words of comfort got stuck in her mouth. Lin Wan smacked her lips a couple of times, unsure what to say for a moment. "You bastard, out of your mind, and you still dare to act like a pervert. I'll kill you." Looking at what emerged from the jade bracelet, Lin Man spoke up just in time. "Xia Ran, I think you should move him back to your room first. Lock the door, it's better to undress him later." "Makes sense." Xia Ran exerted an immense effort, and finally managed to get him back. After turning on the battery-powered bedside lamp, she realized the severely injured, unconscious man was incredibly handsome. He was 100 times better looking than the big stars she'd seen while working as an extra. "How is he? Is he badly hurt? What do you need? I'll go downstairs and buy it." The voice from the jade bracelet snapped her out of her thoughts. She hurriedly checked the wounds. One look, and she was shocked again. 3 stab wounds on his chest were down to the bone. The jade bracelet had no video transmission function. She could only describe it verbally. Lin Wan's head was spinning from listening. "That's serious. Does he need surgery? You don't have the conditions for that either." "Forget it. I'll first go buy some disinfectant and hemostatic supplies." "You wait. The neighborhood he rents in is very remote. There are no clinics around." She jogged all the way to a nearby pharmacy. She bought several large packs of gauze and alcohol, and 3 bottles of Yunnan Baiyao. After a moment's thought, she added anti-inflammatory and fever-reducing medicine, just in case. The total came to $280. It hurt to scan that QR code. After returning home and transmitting the medicine, the two temporarily ended the call. Lin Wan gathered the things Xia Ran had found. Together, she selected a black-gray ornament, made of a glass-like material, and that jade thumb ring. She hid the other things under the bed, and hurried out. She returned to the antique street, and found that shop. The old man from before isn't here. He's greeted by a young man. His name is Zhao Yu, an apprentice. Seeing his shabby appearance, Zhao Yu isn't very attentive. "Show me what you've got, and I'll take a look." Lin Wan hesitates. "I'll wait for Mr. Zhou to return." "Suit yourself," Zhao Yu says with a dismissive look. He's about to return to the counter. When a new customer enters the shop, he immediately abandons Lin Wan and greets them. "What can I do for you, ma'am?" Guya, carrying a bag worth over 10,000, looks down her nose with an air of superiority. "I'm looking for a birthday gift for my grandfather. Any recommendations?" she says as she walks further in. Out of the corner of her eye, she spots Lin Wan sitting in the waiting area, and immediately sneers. "Isn't that Lin Wan? Someone who can't even afford a meal, daring to browse the antique market? Are you here to steal something?" Lin Wan ignores her. She stands up, clutching her bag, and tries to leave, but Guya blocks her way. "What's the matter? Feeling guilty? Young man, check if anything's missing from your shop. When some paupers get desperate, they'll dare to steal anything." Guya, move aside. Lin Wan's eyes redden with anger, her chest heaving violently. The memory of being kicked out of the Gu family, and being abandoned by Jiang Chen, floods back to her. She holds back again and again, stopping herself from slapping her. Her mother is counting on her to survive. She can't afford to act impulsively. Seeing that Guya won't budge, Lin Wan tries to sidestep her, but her bag is snatched away. "Give it back to me, now." The more desperate he was to grab it, the more suspicious Guya became. She unzipped it directly, and took out what was inside. "Lin Wan, you idiot, you stole a defective product." The ornament was shaped like a little deer lying down. One of its antlers was broken. Zhao Yu was also shocked. "Is this what you wanted to sell? We're an antique shop, not a junkyard. Take your goods and get out. You're lowering the standard of our shop." Having heard the whole story, Guya's face showed even more contempt. "Lin Wan, you've really hit rock bottom. Who knows what back alley you dug this thing out of, and you dare bring it to Antique Street to sell? What an embarrassment. Give it to me, now." Lin Wan stretched out her hand, her face cold, with no fear or embarrassment in her eyes. This annoyed Guya immensely. Even in this situation, you still dare put on airs like the young lady of the Gu family. A lowlife living in the gutter will always be a lowlife. Out of pity for you, $100. Guya pulled a 100 yuan bill from her purse, and threw it in Lin Wan's face. "If you're not selling it, give it to me now. Don't know when to quit." Guya directly smashed the thing on the ground. With a crack, it shattered completely. Looking at the material, refracting a dazzling light, Zhao Yu's heart sank. "This thing, a pile of broken glass, and you dare try to pass it off." Guya elegantly dusted off her hands. Lin Wan couldn't take it anymore. She slapped her hard. "That was something Xia Ran risked her life to find. You wicked woman." Guya staggered back 2 steps from the blow. She was absolutely furious. "You bitch, I'll kill you." Wearing high heels, and using her height advantage, she swung her bag at Lin Wan's head. The studs on the bag were unusually sharp. They came at her like swords. Lin Wan instinctively raised her arm to block it, but the expected pain never came. She looked up, confused. A tall, well-built man had somehow stepped in front of her. He grabbed Guya's wrist as she swung the bag. Guya was thrown back violently. The man turned around. His voice was low, slow, and magnetic. Are you okay? Lin Wan stared dumbfounded at the face before her. She had never seen anyone so beautiful. His demeanor was cool and elegant, like an immortal detached from this world. Those long, narrow, deep-set eyes were like the sea. Just one glance seemed capable of drawing in one's soul. The man gave a low chuckle. Are you hurt? Lin Wan finally snapped out of it. Instinctively, she took 2 steps back. Her fair little face flushed bright red. Her heart was pounding wildly, but it soon calmed down. Thank you. I'm fine. He picked up the bag from the floor, dusted it off. Seeing that Mr. Zhou had also returned, she quickly pointed at the items on the ground and said, Sir, could you please take a look, and tell me how much this is worth? Xia Ran went through a lot of trouble to get it. I need Guya to compensate her for the full price. As soon as she finished speaking, Guya snorted with contempt. A broken piece of glass, missing an antler. It's not even worth $100. You hurt me today. The Gu family won't let you get away with this. Lin Wan lifted her head. She retorted coldly. You were the one who smashed my things first. As for how the Gu family deals with me, that comes after you pay up. I see. Are you trying to scam someone with this piece of junk? Guya looks at Xiao Yu. You appraise it. Let's see how much this junk is worth. Xiao Yu realizes he's in big trouble. He wouldn't dare appraise it. He pulls his hand away from Guya and runs over to Mr. Zhou. This is my master. He's the most famous appraiser on this street. Mr. Zhou picks up the shards from the floor. After examining them for a moment, his expression darkens. He can't help but shake his head and sigh. See? I told you it was trash. Guya grows even more smug. Today, he's determined to make this little bitch kneel before him, kowtow, and apologize. Before he can finish his scheming, Mr. Zhou angrily scolds him. Trash. This is an artifact from thousands of years ago. It's a genuine antique. Mr. Zhou then looks at the man beside him. Young Master Lu Zhe's act of saving someone earlier truly shocked him. He's never seen the young master so frantic before. This girl must be special to the young master. Thinking this, Mr. Zhou holds up 3 fingers. 300,000. Lin Wan is startled. What the hell? 300,000. If it weren't damaged, an ornament of this material would be worth at least $1 million. $1 million? Guya thinks these people are all insane. You're all plants hired by Lin Wan, aren't you? Working together to extort me? I'll call the police. I'll have you all arrested. Xiao Yu, who messed up, finally sees a chance to make amends. If you don't know, then shut up. How many collections of wealthy families have been authenticated by my master? And you dare call my master a plant and an extortionist? You're ridiculous. If you want to call the police, go ahead. The shop has surveillance. I can also testify that you're the one who broke it. You have to pay the 300,000. Lin Wan thought $300,000 was a bit outrageous. The value of antiques is indeed hard to judge by normal standards. He immediately agreed to call the police. The daughter the Gu family took back actually broke something and won't take responsibility. Can't even afford 300,000. Wonder whose face will be lost once the news gets out. Guya's expression grew even uglier. The Gu family are business people. They've always wanted to climb into high society. Ever since she was recognized and brought back, her parents kept reminding her to rein in her temper and act like a proper lady from a respectable family. She must never disgrace the Gu family's reputation. She was grinding her teeth in hatred, but there was nothing she could do. She opened her purse, took out $20,000, and threw it on the ground. Lin Wan, that's enough. This piece of junk. And you want 300,000 from me? In your dreams. 20,000 is my absolute max. Take it or leave it. With that, she prepared to leave, convinced that Lin Wan was just trying to squeeze some money out of her. 20,000 was enough to shut her up. It was Lu Zhe, who had been silent all along, who spoke up calmly. Call the police. Get some reporters and media outlets over here too, and invite a few antique appraisal experts. We'll live stream the whole thing online. Fair, just, and transparent. Guya was so scared she nearly face-planted. Who are you? What's it to you? She sized up Lu Zhe, her jealousy and resentment growing stronger. Why does Lin Wan, a lowlife born in the gutter, get to be Jiang Chen's girlfriend? Just got dumped, and now she's caught the eye of another high-quality man. You're quite something, huh? Relying on shamelessness to use every trick in the book to seduce people. Couldn't keep Jiang Chen's heart, so you hooked up with someone else this fast. Sir, you must not let this woman fool you with her innocent act. She is a fake heiress who stole someone else's life. She's dirt poor. Lin Wan stepped in front of Lu Zhe. This is between you and me. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I'll ask you one last time. Are you paying the $300,000 or not? Guya remained defiant. Lin Wan suddenly ran to the doorway and shouted, everyone, come take a look. See the Gu family's young miss throwing a tantrum. She can't even come up with 300,000. Yet she pretends to be rich. She smashed someone's antique and wants to be a deadbeat. As more and more people gathered to watch, Guya's face turned green with rage. But she really didn't have 300,000 on her. In the end, she maxed out her credit card to scrape it together. Lin Wan, you just wait. She spat out the threat and stormed out of the crowd. The more she thought about it, the more something felt off. If what old Zhou said was true, then where did Lin Wan get that stuff? Could it be She immediately pulled out her phone and made a call. Lin Wan. After she returned to the Lin family. What did you give her? My mom didn't even let her in the door. How could we have given her anything? Sisya, did Lin Wan bully you? Tell me. I'll go teach her a lesson. Guya immediately hung up. It wasn't from her rural parents. Did she steal it when she left the Gu family? A vicious glint flashed in her eyes. You're dead, Lin Wan. Seeing the $300,000 hit her account, Lin Wan was a bit dazed. Mr. Zhou, is this thing really worth $300,000? Mr. Zhou glanced at Lu Zhe beside him. He wanted to say something but stopped himself. Lin Wan noticed his action, and also looked towards Lu Zhe. The stunning impression from their first meeting still made her heart burn with intensity, but Jiang Chen's betrayal had made her lose interest in men. You're the real owner of this shop. Mr. Zhou's attitude was obvious. Lu Ze's dark, deep eyes fell into her clear eyes. After a moment, they slightly focused. As expected, he still doesn't recognize me. That's right, my surname is Lu. My given name is Zhe. Lu Ze's gaze lowered. An invisible force made Lin Wan somewhat uncomfortable. He instinctively took half a step back. Mr. Lu, thank you for helping me out earlier, but money that doesn't belong to me, I won't take it. Lu Zhe confirmed. This girl really doesn't remember me. The hand in his pocket slowly clenched. His cold, stern brows also lowered slightly, making his whole person seem even more aloof and difficult to approach. Mr. Zhou wasn't sure. The young master's feelings towards Lin Wan. What exactly were his intentions? Was it because of him as a person, or because of what he held? Something from the Fenghan dynasty? Seeing the atmosphere turn awkward, he quickly spoke up. Miss, the material of your ornament is excellent, but after all, it's defective, and it's a single piece. So it's only worth $300,000. Lin Wan understood the implication in his words. Only worth $300,000. Could it be he thought I considered it too little? After hesitating for a moment, he didn't doubt it further, but still from his pocket, pulled out that jade thumb ring, and handed it over. The $300,000 is the price you helped me recover. Take this as a token of my gratitude. After saying this, he bowed to Mr. Zhou, shouldered his bag, turned, and left. Old Zhou was about to refuse, when the jade thumb ring shoved at him, caught his attention. He ran his fingers over the dragon pattern on it, then rushed off in a hurry to get his tools. A moment later, he was nearly moved to tears. Young master, this is a royal artifact. A storm of shock surged in Lu Ze's eyes. For the exclusive use of the Fenghan dynasty imperial family. Where on earth did that girl get this? Lin Wan left the antique street, ready to share the good news with Xia Ran. Once the call connected, before she could even speak, Xia Ran's frantic voice came through. Lin Wan has a high fever. I doubled her dose of fever reducer, but it's not helping at all. If she keeps burning up like this, could she end up brain damaged? Based on the injury description, it's unclear if there's internal damage, but the external wounds alone could already be fatal. Lin Wan really didn't want blood on her hands. The fever reducer from the drugstore works for common colds and fevers. For a massive infection like this, antibiotic injections are a must. Xia Ran, don't panic. I remember you worked as a nursing aide before, and learned 4 injection from a nurse. I'll go to the hospital for medicine, and see if I can get surgical tools. A wound that long really should be stitched up. Xia Ran's voice instantly shot up. You think this is like sewing a doll? So, do you want to save him or not? Xia Ran looked at the man on the bed, pale-faced, yet extraordinarily handsome. She gritted her teeth and stomped her foot, just for the valuable stuff on him. He might be a big shot. Lin Wan arrived at the hospital, only to realize she had been too naive. The procedures at a proper hospital are very strict. Forget about surgical tools. Even 4 antibiotics won't be prescribed by a doctor before they see the patient. He didn't dare describe the injury too severely, or else attracting the police would be even more troublesome. He talked until he was blue in the face, but it was useless. Time waits for no one. He could only go look at nearby pharmacies, but after searching around, he still came up empty-handed. A clerk kindly reminded him, the things you're looking for can be bought at a private clinic. Lin Wan had a sudden realization. She immediately took out her phone to find a nearby clinic. Just then, a black SUV slowly pulled up beside her. The rear window rolled down, revealing a face as cold and handsome as a celestial being. Where to? I can give you a ride. Lin Wan looked at Lu Zhe in front of her, filled with confusion. Her heart fluttering, she waved her hand dismissively. No, thanks. I'm fine. After saying that, she quickly hailed a taxi, and went to a nearby clinic. Seeing the lock on the clinic door, Lin Wan stomped her foot in frustration. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Why is it already closed? No sooner had she spoken, than a voice came from behind her. A somewhat familiar, deep male voice. What are you trying to buy? Lin Wan was startled. She quickly turned and backed away. Only after seeing who it was did her expression darken slightly. You're following me? Lu Zhe opened his mouth to explain, but after a moment, he simply nodded. You could say that. Lin Wan was almost laughing in anger. I didn't expect him to be so honest. He decided to get straight to the point. Mr. Lu, regardless of whether my ornament is worth $300,000 or not, your shop hasn't suffered any loss. And I even threw in a jade thumb ring. If you want to ask me, How those things came about. Sorry, I have no comment. Lin Wan was stubborn and vigilant, like a little hedgehog that has raised all its spines. Lu Zay's heart felt as if it had been pricked. After hesitating for a moment, he suddenly took out a check for $1 million and handed it over. Looking at the amount on it, Lin Wan was stunned. He had worked his butt off to earn just $300,000, yet the thing he casually gave away, a small jade thumb ring, was actually worth so much money. Then it occurred to him, that jade thumb ring was exactly the one Xia Ran found. From that man, the person who came was definitely not ordinary. Then we absolutely can't let him die. I said I gave it to you, so I won't ask for extra money. Although it hurts like hell, he couldn't figure out Lu Zay's intentions. Perhaps, someone who can casually take out so much money must have some status. So he tentatively spoke up. If you feel bad about it, could you do me a favor? Half an hour later, Lu Zay had gathered everything he needed. All of it. Lin Wan was overjoyed. Thanks, now we're even. He declined Lu Zay's offer to see him off. And with this stuff, he ran towards a dark alley without streetlights. After making sure no one was around, he immediately transmitted the items over. Lin Wan returned home. She didn't dare sleep all night. At one moment, she'd boil water and send it over. The next, she'd clean up the medical waste coming from the jade bracelet. It wasn't until dawn began to break that Xia Ran's voice finally came through, relieved. The fever's finally gone down. Lin Wan was also utterly exhausted from the ordeal. After going downstairs to buy breakfast, she didn't have time to catch up on sleep before rushing out the door to work. Although she had money now, that was meant for supporting Xia Ran. It was Xia Ran's lifeline for surviving in that other world. She couldn't spend it carelessly. But as soon as she arrived at the company, she was notified by HR that she was fired. Wang Ting threw her belongings into a shabby cardboard box. Arms crossed, she looked smug. Stop hanging around here. Get lost. Having not slept all night, Lin Wan's head was throbbing. The temper she'd held back for so long was something she no longer wanted to contain. She marched straight to the HR department and knocked on the door. In front of a crowd of onlooking employees, she cited contract and labor laws, demanding compensation. After being refused, she called Jiang Chen and put him on speakerphone. If you don't want me to expose all the disgusting things you and Guya did to the public, then tell HR to pay up properly. Otherwise, I'm not afraid of a mutually destructive fight. It had to be admitted, having $300,000 in her bank account gave Lin Wan a lot of confidence. When she argued, I want the compensation by noon. With that, she hung up before Jiang Chen could even speak. When she first joined the company, Jiang Chen personally arranged her position. Later, when her identity was exposed, and Guya interfered, many in the company witnessed it firsthand. Not to mention, they were wary of the Jiang and Gu families' reputations. Now, with Lin Wan's outburst, the gossip mill instantly spread throughout the entire company. She bet Jiang Chen couldn't afford to lose face like this. Sure enough, in less than an hour, the compensation, along with her salary, was deposited into her account. Wang Ting hears the sound of a bank transfer notification. She looks annoyed. Lin Wan is making such a big fuss over a little bit of money. She's not leaving herself any way out. Once we step out that door, she'll probably have to survive by scavenging. Lin Wan shoots him a disdainful glance. What's wrong with scavenging? It's more dignified than groveling like a bootlicker. Meanwhile, in the shabby room of the deserted palace, the only bed is occupied by the man. Xia Ran can only sit on the floor. Exhausted, she dozes off, propping her head up. Her head accidentally bumps against the bed frame. The pain makes her yelp and grimace. As she's rubbing her head, she looks up and meets a pair of cold, terrifying eyes. It feels like he might draw his sword and kill her any second. Terrified, she scrambles backward. I didn't hurt you. I saved you. Luckily, when she operated on him earlier, she never took off her mask. He probably won't recognize her. The man struggles to sit up. He notices the needle in his arm. Thinking it's a hidden weapon, he immediately swats it away. A bead of blood instantly wells up. Xia Ran rushes forward to stop him. The next moment, the man has his hand around her throat. Who are you? He reaches to pull off her mask. The intense feeling of suffocation makes Xia Ran realize she's in big trouble. If I'd known it would be like this, I wouldn't have saved you. In the struggle, she grabs a small night light. Without thinking, she swings it and hurls it at the man. Suddenly, the world spins around her. When she comes to her senses, the man is already pinning her down. Who sent you to assassinate me? Murderous intent blazes in the man's eyes. But then, he's distracted by what's in Xia Ran's hand. How do you have such a large night luminous pearl? Xia Ran rolled her eyes hard. The man curiously touched the lamp. Xia Ran tried to escape in the gap, but a large hand firmly trapped her. In her struggle, she brushed against something, eliciting a low grunt from him. Outrageous. Xia Ran shuddered in fright. Her finger hit the nightlight switch. The light instantly went out. The man's expression was clearly startled. Xia Ran looked at him, this clueless look of his. Suddenly, her eyes lit up with an idea. Right, he's so ignorant, and I'm connected to the modern world. Why not just trick him? She immediately adjusted her mask. Stepping aside, she declared, I am the goddess, descended upon the Fenghan dynasty, to save you all. How dare you disrespect me? Release me at once. The man wasn't buying it. A cold, Murderous smirk returned to his lips. A petty trick dares to deceive me, but before he could finish, he suddenly caught a milky scent, with a hint of sweetness. He quickly got up, reached out and grabbed, directly from inside Xia Ran's inner garment. He pulled out a handful of something. You pervert. Xia Ran watched the milk candy he took, fuming with anger. Seizing his moment of distraction, she quickly jumped off the bed, and retreated several meters away. What is this? The man held the milk candy, demanding. Only then did Xia Ran remember the current state of the Fenghan dynasty, and immediately had a plan. She instantly put on a haughty expression. Don't get it, do you? It's food. There's more under the bed. A moment later, the man looked at the food under the bed. His pupils dilated in shock. Roast chicken, pig's feet, roast duck, and fruits he'd never even seen before. The people of the dynasty have long been starving. Even the imperial meals lack richness. A woman in the cold palace. How could she have such exquisite food? Just as Xia Ran was thinking how to keep stringing him along, the man suddenly turned around. He knelt properly before her. Xiao Yu pays homage to the goddess. I beseech the goddess to bless the Fenghan dynasty. Send down more provisions. Save the people from their suffering. I will honor you as my sovereign, and serve you for all eternity. Though I know making such a request is somewhat improper, but at this point, if it can save the common people, I would gladly die 10,000 deaths. Xia Ran had just breathed a sigh of relief, when the hairs on her back stood on end. You are the emperor of the Fenghan dynasty? Yes, goddess. The man's answer made Xia Ran take another step back. So, yesterday, she sewed up the emperor of Fenghan, like a rag doll. Back home, Lin Wan directly transmitted the braised chicken rice to Xia Ran. Just as she was about to complain about quitting her job, from the bracelet, a low, hoarse male voice suddenly came through. This is rice. Instantly alert. Xia Ran, who's speaking? After a moment, Xia Ran hurriedly told Lin Wan about Xiao Yu's identity, through telepathic communication. Although they could hear each other's surroundings, they could communicate telepathically between themselves, and the transmitted voice could only be heard by each other. This also prevented others from finding out. Lin Wan was utterly shocked. The sole emperor of the Fenghan dynasty actually honors you as a goddess? Xia Ran, you're not planning to save them, are you? In that unofficial history they read, the emperor of Fenghan, though to stabilize the lords, his harem was full. He never touched a single concubine. His whole life, his mother died in battle during the feudal lords' rebellion. After the feudal lords seized power, they did not treat the common people well. They divided up the property and land. The Fenghan dynasty was littered with corpses. Xia Ran is now huddled in a corner, crouching like a little mushroom, focused on talking to Lin Wan. If I didn't say that, I was afraid he'd break my neck. Besides, he's the emperor. He must have a lot of good stuff. It's called mutual benefit. I thought you lost your first kiss, and wanted to take responsibility for him. The two of them joked around for a bit. Then Xia Ran brought up the serious matter. Lin Wan, right now, the biggest problem for the Fenghan dynasty is the food shortage. If we can't solve it, there will soon be riots. Lin Wan knows that gaining an emperor's trust is not easy. Just getting by won't solve the actual problem. Our safety is still hard to guarantee, but according to the numbers recorded in unofficial history, the 300,000 he has is definitely not enough to feed the entire dynasty. However, if in the future, more valuable antiques are transmitted over, then we can give it a try. Leave this matter to me. I'll send the first batch of food over as soon as possible. You take care of yourself. After ending the call, Lin Wan took everything that Xia Ran had transmitted over again, everything, and stuffed it into his backpack. After thinking for a moment, he still took out that jade pendant. Lu Zhe must have tracked him because of the jade thumb ring. That's why he followed him. For now, we can't reveal more to avoid unexpected trouble. Because he urgently needed money, he still went to Old Zhou's antique shop. Old Zhou invited him to sit in the lounge, and had Xiao Yu serve tea. Lin Wan took out the items one by one, waiting for them to be appraised. She'd only take out the next one after the last was valued. She was being very cautious. Things were only halfway done, when a commotion suddenly erupted outside. Guya walked in, arm in arm with a middle-aged woman dressed in bright clothes with a somewhat harsh face. They entered. Two bodyguards in black followed behind them. Lin Wan, you thieving little bitch. Get out here right now. Lin Wan's face instantly paled. Xiao Yu recognized Guya. He immediately whispered a warning to his master. It's that woman from last night, and she brought backup. Guya, pulling her aunt along, had already reached them. Seeing the antiques on the table, she felt a surge of vindictive pleasure, having caught her red-handed. Mom, you see, when Lin Wan left the Gu family, she stole a lot of things, and now she's here trying to sell them for cash. The Gu family was only considered a third-rate wealthy household. They had a few factories doing decent business, but compared to true old money families, they were nothing. And precisely because of that, the aunt was extremely interested in jewelry and luxury goods, but knew very little about these antiques that signified a family's heritage. She glanced at the drab-looking things on the table. She said, are these things really that valuable? Guya, flustered, quickly tugged at her sleeve. She raised her voice sharply at Elder Zhou. Mr. Zhou, you are a respected elder, yet you're privately handling stolen goods. If this gets reported to the police, your reputation will surely be ruined. Hearing this, the aunt immediately understood the tactic. Feeling emboldened, she grabbed Lin Wan's arm. You little wretch. The Gu family raised you for 20 years for free. We never asked you for child support. And you're still not satisfied? You stole the family heirlooms to sell here. I'll beat you to death. My aunt was the other woman who stole her husband. She got her way by getting pregnant. She thought it would be a son, but it turned out to be a daughter. She never liked Lin Wan from the start, ever since she found out that Lin Wan wasn't her own flesh and blood. She cut off all contact. As she spoke, she slapped her across the face. Lin Wan didn't dodge. Her cheek immediately swelled up. Old Mr. Zhou immediately had Xiao Yu stop her. What do you think you're doing? Causing trouble in my shop. I won't stand for it. My aunt is feisty by nature. She wasn't scared at all. Let's see you try. What did this little tramp give you to make you protect her like this? Let me tell you something. Today, not only will you cough up that $300,000, you'll also return all the money she made selling things to the Gu family, or you'll regret it. Old Mr. Zhou is getting on in years. He usually only deals with antiques. He was furious now, but couldn't say much. After all, he couldn't verify the origin of these items. By then, Lin Wan had already calmed down. With half her face red, she stared coldly at the two of them. I didn't take anything from the Gu family. Guya scoffed. Pointing at the items on the table, she asked, then tell me, where did you get these things? I've already asked Lin how. Don't you dare pin this on the Lin family. The origin of these items was something Lin Wan couldn't explain. Pressed for answers, she clenched her fists. She pursed her lips and stayed silent. Seeing this, Guya grew even more smug. Mr. Zhou, you see, she can't explain it. These are stolen goods. Old Zhou looked at Guya, looking aggressive, his hands trembling with anger. He pointed at the antique on the table, and said sharply, Ms. Gu, you keep saying these are stolen goods, but do you have any proof? This imperial jade thumb ring from the Fenghan dynasty is exquisitely crafted. The dragon motif is incredibly lifelike. It was made exclusively for the royal family. Your Gu family is just a third-rate merchant house. How could you possibly have such a family heirloom? Guya's face turned pale. She forced herself to stay calm. Well, how should I know where he stole it from? Maybe he colluded with tomb raiders. Lu Zhe stepped forward, his presence commanding the room. The imperial tombs of the Fenghan dynasty have never been recorded as robbed. Moreover, the patina on this jade ring is natural, definitely not from a tomb robbery. Lu Corporation's Antique Appraisal Center has already registered it. Ms. Lin, every piece of Fenghan artifact she brought has clear provenance and dating. None of them are of dubious origin. He paused, his gaze sharp as a knife, sweeping over Guya and her aunt. The Gu family has been eager to expand overseas lately, and I believe you still owe Lu Bank a massive loan, don't you? The aunt's face instantly drained of color. She tugged at Guya's sleeve, and whispered, Yaya, let's just go. Guya couldn't swallow her pride, but she knew full well the power of Lu Corporation. The Gu family couldn't afford to provoke them. She glared viciously at Lin Wan. Lin Wan, you just wait. This isn't over. Anytime. But if you dare slander me again, I'll sue you for defamation. And make sure you and the Gu family can never hold your heads up in the business world again. Watching their sorry retreat, Lin Wan turned to old man Zhou and Lu Zhe, and bowed deeply. Thank you, Mr. Zhou. Thank you, Mr. Lu, for your help. You said earlier that these things were found by a friend of yours. Lin Wan's heart skipped a beat. He knew he couldn't hide it anymore. Lu Zhe had helped him multiple times, and showed such interest in Fenghan artifacts. Perhaps he could be trusted. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded. My best friend. He's in the Fenghan dynasty. Lu Zhe wasn't surprised. He seemed to have suspected as much. That jade bracelet can not only communicate, but also transport objects, right? Lin Wan stared at him, stunned. Lu Zhe smiled faintly. My family has studied the Fenghan dynasty for generations. A legend has been passed down through history that the Fenghan royal family possessed a jade bracelet that could connect across time and space. The artifacts you brought have clear dating, and bear fresh traces of daily life. They're definitely not unearthed relics. Plus, you were in a hurry to buy medical supplies before, and food. The answer is obvious, since he'd been seen through. Lin Wan decided to come clean. My friend, Xia Ran, soul transmigrated to Fenghan, and became a neglected consort in the Cold Palace. Now the Fenghan dynasty faces internal and external threats, and the emperor, Xiao Yu, has hailed her as a divine maiden, begging her to solve the food crisis. The money I have isn't enough to buy too much food. Leave this to me. I own a grain trading company, with ample stock, and we have dedicated cold chain transport. I can get you food at a fair price. As for how to transport it, don't worry about that. I'll find a discreet warehouse to ensure no one discovers it. A warmth welled up in Lin Wan's heart. Mr. Lu, why are you willing to help me? I'm very interested in the history of the Fenghan dynasty. I don't want to see the people of that era displaced and homeless. And secondly, he paused, his cheeks slightly flushed. I want to help you. Lin Wan's heart skipped a beat. She lowered her head, not daring to meet his gaze. Old Zhou chuckled to himself nearby. Tactfully, he pulled Xiao Yu away to sort the antiques. Over the next few days, Lu Zhe indeed kept his promise. He helped Lin Wan acquire a large quantity of rice, flour, compressed biscuits, and canned goods. He even specially prepared seeds and simple agricultural tools. In the hidden warehouse provided by Lu Zhe, Lin Wan transmitted these supplies, one by one to Xia Ran. In the Fenghan dynasty's imperial palace, Xia Ran looked at the continuous stream of arriving food, tears of excitement welling up in her eyes. Xiao Yu stood to the side, gazing at the mountain of supplies. His reverence for Xia Ran deepened another level. Yet, deep in his eyes, there was a hint of tenderness, barely noticeable. Goddess, this food is enough to solve our urgent crisis. I'll immediately send people to distribute it to the people in various regions to stabilize public morale. Xia Ran nodded. From her jade bracelet, she took out the simple irrigation blueprints and farming manuals that Lu Zhe had specifically found. These are divine farming methods. If we farm according to these methods, grain yields can increase significantly. Have the agricultural officials teach them to the people. Xiao Yu took the blueprints and examined them carefully. The more he looked, the more astonished he became. This method is truly ingenious. The goddess is a divinely gifted genius. His gaze towards Xia Ran was filled with admiration and affection. However, Xia Ran was solely focused on solving the crisis and didn't notice. In the days that followed, Xiao Yu followed the methods provided by Xia Ran to promote new farming techniques. He distributed seeds and grain to Fenghan. The dynasty's situation gradually stabilized. The people no longer went hungry. They were deeply grateful to the divine maiden Xia Ran and Emperor Xiao Yu. They were deeply grateful. Uprisings across the land also subsided. Meanwhile, Xia Ran took advantage of the stable situation and began scouring the palace for antiques. Xiao Yu knew of her fondness for them. Not only did he not stop her, he even proactively sent her precious artifacts from the palace treasury for her to pass on to Lin Wan. If the divine maiden fancies these worldly things, she's welcome to take them. As long as the divine maiden stays by my side, everything in Fenghan is hers. Xia Ran accepted a crystal clear jade vase. I'm not doing this for these things. I just want to help my friend. Xiao Yu chuckled lightly. I know, but I want to make the divine maiden happy. He hesitated for a moment. Then he cautiously asked the divine maiden if she had come to trust me a little. Xia Ran recalled Xiao Yu's efforts these past days. She remembered how he toiled tirelessly for the people. She remembered his respect and protection towards her. She nodded. You are a good emperor and a good person. Xiao Yu's eyes instantly lit up, as if he had received the most precious reward. He gathered his courage. Reaching out, he tried to take Xia Ran's hand, but he withdrew just before touching it, afraid of being too forward. Meanwhile, in the modern era, Lin Wan wasn't idle either. Together with Lu Zhe, they cataloged and sold the antiques Xia Ran sent over. Cataloged and sold the antiques. Lu Zhe used his connections to ensure these antiques sold for extremely high prices. The two went to the warehouse together to send supplies. They visited antique shops together to handle the artifacts. They spent more and more time together.